Hi all, welcome to i-tutor Academy. In today's session, start with Unit 13, the Mmpc 009, that is standardization, codification and variety reduction. Okay, so what is the objective of this unit? So it unit deals with the familiarize with the need and role of classification, codification and standardization in the context of materials management from the viewpoint of planning, control, purchase, inventory, stores and so on, and appreciate the importance of standardization in variety reduction, design and implement codification system for situation other than material, design and implement standardization for procedure and forms etc. in information system design, introduction computerization of data system for materials using codification and standardization. And structure of this unit there is an introduction, classification of materials, codification, standardization and variety reduction, summary, keyword and self-assessment exercise also. Okay, so this is the structure of this unit. And then we will start with introduction. So almost all organizations use and store a large number of items. Some of these have a relatively longer life, for example building, plant, equipment, machine and furniture etc., while others in rather large number running into lakhs spend shorter time with the organization, material, component, tools and stationery etc. We shall concentrate mainly on material and parts. And several departments of the organization require the information about the materials, and their requirements are usually different from each other. For example, it is easy to visualize how information requirement may have quite a wide spectrum by departments such as receipt, storage, inspection, design, engineering, inventory, account and marketing etc., and about a given material. And some departments are interested in the size, volume and shape, and some in engineering properties, some in financial aspect, while some in the commercial value of the material. And it is quite likely and perhaps sometimes purposeful for an item to get identified by different names by different department of the organization. A dustbin may be known as refuse container, rubbish box etc. An electric company in UK had as many as 118 names for a simple screw with a diameter of 3 by 8 inch and length of 6 inch, and depending on type of usage and the department using the screw. And these may however result in confusion and tended to duplicate ordering or overstocking. And the problem could really explore beyond dimension when the number of item is largely very large, and there are several external organizations, suppliers, wholesalers, retailers and customers etc., who prefer to call an item by different names, some by brand name, some by manufacturer reference number, some by engineering name and some by serial number, right? So the process of standardization logically leads to reduction in the number of part variety that an organization handles. So it's the definition for standardization. Okay, and for the purpose of the convenient understanding of the topic, we shall discuss classification, codification, standardization, and variety reduction in that order. Okay, so first of all, we will discuss about classification of materials. So, what is classification? Classification is defined as the process of arranging things in group or classes according to their resemblance and affinities, and gives expression to the unity of attributes that may subsist among a diversity of individuals. And when there are now numerous items handled by an organization, their planning and coordination become extremely difficult, if not impossible, if each one of them is handled separately. And classification of material involves grouping of items according to some criteria. We are quite familiar with classifying our domestic article into clothes, kitchenware, electric appliance, electronic gadget, furniture, professional articles, entertainment articles, groceries, consumables and non-consumables etc. And it is easy to see that an item may be belong to more than one class depending on the criteria used. And for example, a radio set is an electronic gadget as well as non consumable and entertainment article. And what is the purpose of classification? And following are the major classification: to devise procedure of planning and control for material in a class, and to devise purchase procedures, inspection method, and storing and issuing procedure common to all material in a class, and to devise accounting and evaluation procedure common to all material in a class. Obviously, the concentration of effort according to class system would be more efficient and effective as compared to diluted effort corresponding to each individual item. And following are the major classification system on the basis of nature of material, that is raw material. Raw material include all those materials which are purchased from the original procedure or other manufacturers and are used directly in producing the fame's product. Next is machinery and equipment. All the machinery, both power and hand driven, such as presses, lathe machine, and typewriter, electronic motors, fans, and other machines used in the production and other departments, is classified as such. And consumable item, those material used in the manufacturing process which cannot be used for the second time for the same purpose, since their utility for the purpose in question has ceased and the shape changed, are referred to as consumable item. Chemicals and inflammable item, fuel stock, furniture, scrap material, packaging material, and general items. Okay, so these are the uh, materials on the basis of nature of materials. Okay, next is on the basis of usability of materials, that is serviceable, unserviceable, and obsolete items. Serviceable items are those items which go temporarily out of order, and repair and replacement they may become severe serviceable again, and their usable life may thus be extended for some more item. And unserviceable item are those items which have outlived their life, and no amount of repairs, renewal, or replacement can bring them back to their usable life. Next is finished and semi finished item, and dead stock item, and unused items. So these are the classification on the basis of usability of materials. And next is codification. Okay, so what is codification? From the above, it is clear that there must be some means of identifying the items accurately, uniquely, and adequately. And these identification attributes are achievable by appropriate classification and codification. So we are familiar with the pin codes used by post and telegraph department to uniquely and consistently identify various regions of the country. And codification is a process of representing each item by a group of numbers and alphabets indicating the group and the subgroup, the type, and the dimension of the item. And many organizations in the private and public sectors, railways and DGS and D, have their own system of codification. And the number of digits in a code may typically be somewhere between 8 and 30. And the role of these digits and some fundamental principle of codification can be understood from the following example. There is digit 1 to 2 major group, and 3 to 4 is subgroup, that is ferrous, non-ferrous, etc., and 5 to 7 is dimensional characteristics, length, width, head diameter, etc. 8 is minor variations and location of storage. 10 to 11 is user departments of the organization. 12 is product or product line requiring the item. 13 any other information of inventory, accounting, and purchasing, etc. And this is merely an illustration of codification process, and the codification process can be based on other aspect also, and the codes could be obtained by the nature of item in grouping all item of the same metal content, say ferrous and non-ferrous, etc. And the system could be built sometimes on the basis of the end use of item, say maintenance, spinning, foundry, welding, packing, and machine shop, etc. And the codification could be thought of on the basis of source of purchasing, where item obtained from one source are grouped together. And the codification could also be built on the basis of alphabetical listing. Next is objectives of codification. In order to identify the items correctly and logically for processing the transaction And to facilitate easy location in store, codification system should be evolved with the following objectives. First is accurate and logical identification. A separate code is allotted to each of the item available in the storehouse, indicating the size, quality, price, usability, special characteristics, and specification, etc. And next is prevention of duplication. All items are separately codified and are arranged in a logical order. Similar material are grouped together such as stationary items and given code example 07. Okay. Next is standardization and reduction in varieties. For codification, grouping of identical item is done and it enables the stores to examine the entire range of items, and it facilitates the elimination of those varieties in place of which other varieties of the like quality can be used. This reduce the number of variety to the minimum. And efficient purchasing is the filling up of purchase requisition and preparation of purchase orders are simplified by the use of codes which easily indicate the material requires. Buying instructions to the suppliers become easy and quick if there is proper understanding of codification by the suppliers, and the entire operation of the purchase department can be organized according to grouping of item. And in centralized purchasing, such systems serve well in dealing with the purchase orders and in taking advantage of bulk purchasing. Next is efficient recording and accounting, easy locating, indexing, and inspection, and easy computerization. And essential features of codification system, uh, there could be many possible arrangements of coding symbols and numbers, that is alphabet, which can be used to design a code. However, a great deal of thought must go into the coding scheme if it is to satisfy a variety of users. That is brevity, logical flexibility, uniqueness, easy understandability, and proper choice of the coding symbol, layout of codes, capacity of a system, that like that. Okay. Next is codification system. There are several systems possible for codification of material depending on the choice of coding symbol, alphabet, numbers, or a combination of alphabets and numbers. The two popular and fundamental system, that is Brish Kodak, are described here. One is Brish system. What is Brish system? Brish, you can pronounce your own way. BRISCH. System is based on number of numbers from 0 to 9 and consists of block, that is typically 3 separated by a decimal point, and the blocks are assigned a specific classification of the materials. The first is leftmost block represent the major classification such as raw materials, packing material, finished material, etc. And the second block represent the next level classification such as nature, use, quality, characteristics, etc. While the third block represent the lowest level classification such as quality of the material, its component, and its facial appearance, that is price, availability, source of supply, marketability, and frequency of use, etc. And the following example for stationary item explain the Brish system. And the major items stationery is classified into four groups based on the nature of each item, and each group in turn is divided into further subgroups. The system proceeds in the following steps, and the material to be coded are grouped together so as to form a major group, and the grouping should be accurate and unambiguous and should not overlap. It is based on the classification system described in the previous section, and after the classification or primary grouping, the material are further divided and subdivided as explained earlier, and basis of this division and subdivision describe the material in a great detail as possible and simultaneously making them relevant to the users. And the codes are assigned in three blocks separated by a decimal point, and total number of digit could be any as per convenience, but a general figure 7 is. And Kodak system, what is Kodak system? Kodak system has been developed by Eastman Kodak and in New York, USA, and is supposed to be very comprehensive system. It consists of 10 digit of numerical code. The basis of the major or first level grouping is source of supply, and material are divided into 100 basic classifications based on purchase and procurement considerations. For instance, a bolt is listed as hardware item if this is listed in hardware catalog and available with the hardware supplies. If this bolt, however, is available only as part of the machines, it will be available under maintenance, and each class is divided into 10 subclasses. For example, if class 20 represents cutting tool, then 200 represent drills, rehammers and counter bars, etc. The step of classification can be understood by the following examples. This is here step 1, raw material. So here is first root digit class code is there, raw material, machine and the mechanics equipment is 21 to 35, like that. And step 2 is sub, that is classification of material in a class code, say 53 to 68, and 53 is tank, 54 is pump, like that. Okay. And step 3, that is further subclassification, indicates kind in a particular subclass of material, that is 600, that is carbonic acid, 601 is sulfuric acid, like that. Please refer this from your Igno study material, unit 13 of MMBC 009. Okay, and it will be more clear. And color coding system also here. Sometimes color codes are used to identify the item. Common instances are red, blue, green in an electric cable, red and green in electric switches, and so on. Some organization use the codes locally, such as to identify the steam, water and other pipes, while there exists some national or international color coding system. Okay. So, what are the drawbacks of coding? Sometimes the codes become so complicated that it is difficult to understand, and coding of some characteristics like tolerance level of finish and degree of autonomous is quite problematic. And wrong identification may be possible if codes are not clear. Color codification may create confusion among materials and meaningless for colorblind workers, and it may be confusing to the vendors to handle two or more organizations simultaneously to supply them same article having different codes by them as per their own convenience and requirements. And some alphabet used in the code, such as I, U, S, B and O, may be wrongly confused with the similar notification like 1, V, 5, like that, respectively, and that may lead to erroneous identification of article. Okay, so that's the drawback of codification. And this is about today's section. Next subsession of unit 13 we will discuss on next section. For more MBA series, you just do like, share and subscribe our channel. Thank you so much.
i-tutor Academy presents IGNOU MBA complete syllabus coverage classes for individual students, semester-wise subject with online and flexible timing. For more details, contact on +916 238 217 885.